Hi guys, my name is Thought and today's game is Hearthstone Rise of the Shadow expansion. I decided to bring you this game of Rogue versus Druid as a post commentary because this game is hell of a fun and the audio wasn't that good, so I decided to make a post commentary video about what happened, what was my thought process, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, I tried to find a simple 1-drop into 2-drop into something that I can contest the board. As you know, Token Druid fights for the board early on, and if you don't get a hold of that aggression early on, then you fall behind way too much and they just buff all their minions and you're dead. Typical Token Druid stuff. So I decided to obviously save as much as I can from on my minions. Luckily, I can get rush and +1/+1 on my minion, and decided to preserve my divine shield on my Argent Squire. After that, I'm trying to find whatever I can, and this time I'm looking for any AoE, and Explosive Trap is actually pseudo AoE. It can remove up to 3 stuff, so I decided that this is the best thing. Looking at his hand, I was expecting Whispering Woods, and this turn here was one of the crucial turns I took to decide if I needed to play Explosive Trap or should I preserve it. I decided to keep it, thinking that he will have some more nasty things in the future, and if he decides to buff his 3 minions, he's more than welcome to. And as you can see, he plays additional 2 tokens and give them Power of the Wild, buffing them for 1/1, which actually sounds now terrifying, but having this Explosive Trap in my hand, I don't feel as much threatened, but I start to feel a little bit antsy if it comes to my unit amounts. As you can see, I'm only having a 1 unit on my board, and I'm using my health as a resource. 29 points of my health are not important. The most important one is the last one, right? So as long as I can use that and I know what threats he has left to actually burst me down, then I think I can use my face as much as I can to actually to make trades efficient so that my minions would stick longer. As you can see, the Druid doesn't give up. He's still trying to put as many minions as he can while removing mine. And this is the turn where, for the first time from the long time, I don't have any minions. I have to build them from nothing at this point. So Hench Clan and Underbelly Fence is good enough for now. I get +1/+1 rush still, and thanks to this Lucentbark in my hand, I'm trying to get to it as fast as I can. Lucentbark is the card that I was looking at the most, especially with Togwaggle scheme. The only downside of it would be that once the Lucentbark is dead, it would occupy 1 space of my board, so I would be limited each time Lucentbark would be dead if I would Togwaggle scheme it and play more copies of it. And this is one of the most important discovery. Each of these cards had merit to pick, but I looked at my hand and decided what would be the best course of action, and I saw my Headwind on my right side, and I decided that Holy Smite is actually the card that I should pick here, because this enables me to, 1, remove a threat from his board, trade in one of my guys, well, not trade in, kill one of his guy, and play another minion. This is a minion heavy deck, so I need as much minions as I can to contest his aggression, and as long as I keep tab on that, I should be safe. So this was my logic behind picking actually Holy Smite with playing Edwin Van Cleef. I was actually surprised by that crystal stack, but it was discovered, and since he healed for 5, well, he gets 2 of them. Luckily for me, I've drawn Vendetta, so I can make easy trades, and it's time to play Lucentbark and feel a bit more safe. And this is the moment I actually um, think about Lucentbark. At this point, I was thinking that I want it to do it, but I thought to myself that I have enough time to get more copies of it into my deck, so that I could draw them more quickly and play a lot of Lucentbark, which sounds awesome, right? And now the minion I was not expecting, 510, Ancient of War, here to destroy my day, but luckily Face Collector came here to collect some faces, and the last face he collects for me is actually Nozari. And I decided that this is one of the best minions to use because I was using my face quite aggressively, and I have more reason to be more aggressive with my dagger. And since Lucentbark is a minion that can regenerate itself if I heal for 5, then yeah. And suddenly my plan from Nozari to actually be from Lucentbark to be Togwaggle Scheme, I switched to Nozari. And the reason I'm playing Nozari here right now is because I think that this is the best turn for me to play it. Since I want Togwaggle Scheme it, I want it to be behind some taunt, and especially when there are no minions on my enemy side. This is the most safe play I can make towards my plan of Togwaggle Scheme, right? Put as many copies of them into my deck and don't have to deal with it. Glinda here is also good, especially with Miscreant, or should I say Lackeys. Lackeys cost 1, and Glinda allows me to play as many of them as I can. So suddenly this Witch Lackey seems really juicy. Remember Evolve, when you can target one of your minions and replay it as many times as you have mana? Yeah, this is the same thing, just occupies your space, which is some problem. So I decided to put in as many Nozari as I can so that I can draw them, that's 1, and 2, so that I could actually not be afraid that it will die in some bizarre way. And Archmage Varga is not a huge threat to me, but I am always concerned what nonsense he will pull actually make this matchup swing into his favor. So as you can see, my Lucentbark took some damage and it died, but it doesn't go away, it stayed dormant for some amount of time, and I think that Nozari number 2 can actually heal it in some time, but I don't have Nozari, and my unstable element doesn't seem that juicy anymore in my hand. Second, Force of the Nature. No, Force of the Forest, right? Yeah, Forest. And here I decided that I need to get rid of this board, so I need to find some AoE to actually deal with it, and I find it in the means of Betrayal, and I can find 2 Betrayals even, so that's great. I decided to deal with Vargath and tokens that will come out of all those minions that dies, and I can use it efficiently so that no more tokens will be spawned, because I can pick my targets wisely, right? And I'm still looking for cards like Backstab to actually do more damage to my opponent's board. And at this point I see also that my enemy is running out of juice. He's running on 4 cards, 5 on his next turn, and this looks very dominant at this point, but remember that this matchup usually goes to the person that actually gains the board. And since I kept it and didn't release it at any point, I was lucky enough to actually push more minions on the board and always contest whatever he's playing. At this point, I believe that my enemy is starting to lose hope, but he still tries to find a way to actually be dominant on the board. His only hope is actually for me to never draw Nozari, even though that's a really weak plan, but let's face it, it's the best one he has at this point. That still doesn't happen, and I'm still looking for Nozari and I can't find it, and his board is getting quite wide. But I'm still feel safe, with which lucky that boom, Hecklebot is the best 4-drop if you want to be defensive in this. Like, if this matchup wasn't going my way, yeah, I can't tell you more than this. And there is a part of audio that actually works here, so I want you guys to actually hear it, and you will see why I think that this matchup was so fun. Of course, the Forest Aid here comes to the rescue. It allows to still be relevant in this game for Druid, and I can still trade my minions, use my face aggressively, and yeah, Nozari up. We can heal up and save Lucentbark from dormant state yet again. And this is really defensive out of me, but I'm more of a value deck at this point, and I want to use it as defensive as I can while putting the biggest threat. And my opponent is still trying to find a miracle to his side. All he needs is actually one huge board that would not be contested, no taunts in the way, and get in the way, right? With double savage roar, and I'm pretty much dead. But since I know this, I'm trying to avoid it as much as I can, playing as many minions as I can, taking out all his minions while I can, and always keep him on his toes, right? Never allowing him to steal the board, trading efficiently as I can. And yeah, at this point I'm feeling really comfortable. I don't feel like he can take any advantage, and this is the part I want you to hear. This is the best audio I got, and I was so thrilled about what's gonna happen right now. So yeah, enjoy what you hear.
Here we go.
Well, I am gonna play this. Whoops.
Oh my god, if I heal my opponent, he gets resurrected. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I'm glad I made that mistake. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, as you can hear, I was really excited. Out of my misplay, I decided to not misplay it this time, playing Nozari first, and then going face. At this point, as you probably saw, my enemy decided to not play along anymore, and he actually taps out, and yeah, that was one of my favorite games when Nozari and Lucentbark, the combo that you cannot normally see, happened. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace!